Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting our panel on the screen now. Let's get the panel on. Yes, so you can see all our panelists joining us. A very good afternoon and welcome everyone.
Hello.
I'd love to invite you. Over to you, Bhuvnesh.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Niranjan sir. Niranjan sir, आपकी लाइटिंग थोड़ी कम है.
हेलो.
लाइट नहीं है.
लाइट नहीं है फेस पे.
हाँ, फेस पे लाइट नहीं है. फेस पे लाइटिंग नहीं है.
Just open it a little. Not this one. Last one. Is it better?
No, फेस पे लाइट चाहिए. फेस पे.
Is it better now?
Much better.
Yeah, okay.
No. थोड़ा कोई लाइट आती नहीं है जो जला सके. हाँ, ये वाला पर्दा खोल. बस.
Okay.
अभी बस.
Thank you. Thank you.
तो सारी दुनिया देखना चाहेगी निरंजन खत्री को. Right? So there you are. Mr. Masaneni is also there. Madanji is there. Harinder is there. Everybody is there. So this is one hell of a show. As somebody has a Facebook or something on, उसकी आवाज बंद कर लो. So parallel, yeah. So let me talk about this show. This is a very beautiful show. Right? So we have a guru over here in Niranjan Khatri. All right. You may want to the back-end team, Mr. Niranjan Khatri के खत्री में आई लगाओ जल्दी से. खतरा कर दिया आपने तो. All right. So खत्री करो जल्दी से. हो गया जी, खत्री हो गया. All right. So now before I start this show, I will time it now. This is an amazing show. You have perhaps this industry's best conservationist, best environmentalist, somebody who's an expert, a guru who has spent years and years with ITC, who has perfected his education, his experience, his assignment, his role into an art form. Right? He's a specialist. He's a very well-known name. Whenever I do a show, first, I don't come in and anchor any show myself. Let me tell you, I am not a end all, right? I am a master of none, right? So I bring in subject matter experts, but मेरा दिमाग एक वो ना बुलजाई की तरह लग गया खत्री साहब पे और उनसे आगे निकले ही नहीं. So I am delighted, Khatri Saab, for you to come and host, anchor, and moderate this show. I'll first come to the ladies. I have 3 ladies after a long time on one show. I'll start with Meenuji. Meenuji, welcome to the show. My first one with you all, right? I'm delighted to have you on the show, Meenuji. Right? Serena, इसके साथ तो मेरे झगड़े होते रहते हैं. ये मेरे को मारती रहती है. But no, she's a very good friend. Serena, in her entire experience role, she has a huge standing in the industry, like Meenuji and everybody you have. Harinder Kishore, another very strong name in the industry, works with the Hyatt, the Andaz, right? She's the director of rooms and a housekeeping specialist. Now I'll come to the my gender, right? I'll start with Bhaskar Messineni, based out of Bangalore. I had Kunal yesterday on the show. Bhaskar, he heads the engineering for the Leela Group. Very strong credential. I leave to Niranjanji. Vinayaka from ITC, extremely strong candidate in the engineering business. Very strong credentials, right? Who does not know Madanji? Madanji, it's your second coming to Taj, right? And stays very near me. Very strong credentials. A long time engineering guru. And I come to Bhaskar. Bhaskar Gurunath, the genial Marriott engineering head, based out of Mumbai. I'm so happy to have you here, all of you. Yeah, my apologies for the delay, but some shows get so interesting that you don't want to stop the flow. All right, over to you, Niranjan sir. I will get out of this show for some time because your presentation will come. So please start.
Thank you, Bhuvan, for inviting me, and thank you, Business World, for this opportunity. And a very good afternoon to all my fellow panelists, and a big namaste to all the audience across geographies. A little introduction about myself, as suggested by Bhuvan. I am a hotelier by profession. I have the dubious distinction of being posted in Kalapani. It's also called Port Blair, where in the bliss of a small pond, I learned sustainability in geographical isolation. And we did our work very intuitively, focusing on our business angle to begin with, and slowly got into the environment and social dimension. And I'm happy to share that the small 45-room hotel in '93 got the first Green Award in India. And the case study was written for ILO and was shared with hoteliers across the world. And in 2015, when the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal indicators came, there are 17 indicators, I kind of looked at the initiative that we had implemented in Port Blair. And to my surprise, I found that we had conformed to all the 17 indicators. So with this very brief introduction, I'd like to get on to my PowerPoint presentation. Kunal, will you please do the needful? Kunal, next please. My presentation is very brief because Bhuvnesh is very tough with time parameters. So I'll focus briefly on strategy, challenges, opportunity, and it'll end. Next, please. I'm sure many of you have heard about the David and Goliath story, but for the benefit of those who do not know this story, in 1000 BC, there was a fight between the Palestinians and Israelis. And from the Palestinian side, Goliath, 7 feet giant, came to fight with David. He was a shepherd man, he was a shepherd boy, and he changed the rules of the game. As you can see from this picture, that Goliath is heavily armed and in very heavy armored apparel, whereas David is in his ordinary clothes, only with a catty. And he took a few pebbles from the ground and he hit the most vulnerable part of Goliath on his forehead. He was stunned, he fell down, he ran, picked up Goliath's sword and killed him. What are the learnings from this? Goliath was nimble, agile, and his core competency was using the catty. So he outmaneuvered the heavy Goliath with sword and knife and shield, etc., and won the battle. The message for hoteliers in this is that, in my view, the hotel industry is very heavy, and the kind of challenges that we are going to face on account of various ecological issues, we have to become more agile and, as somebody rightly pointed out, minimalistic in our design. COVID is teaching us a lot of new lessons, and hopefully these lessons will not be lost. So Kunal, next please. Now, all of you know the challenges that we have in front of us. So I'm not going to go into the details of deforestation and desertification, desertification and the overdraft on natural resources. We are already on a 40% overdraft. So if you find certain ideas which I'll be sharing with you radical, you must come back to this particular slide and know what's the rationale behind the inputs that I'll be giving. And what is also important that in our industry, our focus is very introverted and we need to become a little extroverted. And there are some inputs for the hotel industry in this area also, very cost effectively with huge radius of influence that you enjoy. Next, please. These pictures are visible to all of us every day, so I don't have to say anything more on this. Next, please. But it's very disheartening to see that in every time there's a drought, women are jostling for water, whether it's around the wells or around the tanker waters. And climate change is already at our door, and we in the industry have to see how do we make a business more resilient and take care of not only of our business necessities, but pass on low-cost ideas for the communities so that they also live comfortably as we are. Next, please. It's very disheartening to see the daily trudge of women walking for 4 kilometers in India. And then in our hotels, we use bathtubs with enormous amount of water. So I think it's time that we develop empathetic service design so that we do away with the tub completely. I'm told that only 5% of the world's travelers use the bathtub, and yet most hotels have bathtubs in every room. And this is, I think, a sheer example of the heaviness of Goliath in terms of the capex and opex. There's some noise at the back. Can we address that, please? Yeah. Thank you. Next, please. And let's look at climate change in context to the use of toilet paper in hotels. One toilet paper, as you can see from this chart, consumes 140 liters of water, a lot of energy, and 1.5 pounds of pulp is used to make this toilet paper. And I'm told in Canada they are using virgin forest for making this. It's a classic example of using A category resources for a C category need, whereas the solution is on the right side, and many hotels have started adopting the hygiene faucet. But can we take a more daring decision of not keeping toilet paper? And if somebody wants toilet paper, introduce the concept of airlines charging. You know, they charge you for a aisle seat, they charge you for a middle seat, and they charge you for everything. Why don't now we disaggregate the services of the hotels to see if we can enhance our revenues in COVID times? Next, please. Our industry is designed for waste, and there are innumerable opportunities for eliminating this waste. And I'll give you a very simple example of changing the service design collectively by industry. I am again highlighting the word collectively. Few chains have now adopted offering a small peg or large peg of water. And this idea has been accepted by about 4,000 or 5,000 restaurants in the country, but not good enough. And so it's also very nice to see that this service design has been accepted by the UP Assembly. But unless we do it collectively on a mass scale, we are not going to optimize on use of resources. And just to give you an example of this, if we have 5 lakh hotels, we are wasting something like 50 lakh liters of water per day. And this is just for one meal. If you multiply it by 3 meals, just look at the figures. And with 50 lakh liters, if you are in the villages, 1.25 lakh people can use this water which we are wasting. And in urban areas, it can cater to the need of 37,000 people. So you apply this simple principle to anything and do it in your own home also, because considering that we have 100 crore plus population in the country, we are wasting 25 crore liters of drinking quality water. And we all admit that water is a problem. And I'm bringing the dimension of small peg, large peg into this because it brings the humor element into it. And then it brings in a serious tone the concept of scarcity value pricing, which is not part of the management jargon. So may I request all of you in the audience and the panel to take these messages and please work with your team to see how we can establish this on a national basis and set the tone for the country. Let the industry set the tone for the country for a change by displaying the responsible use of resource in a very simple manner where there's no investment required, because I keep hearing so much investment is required to fight COVID. And when you're saving this kind of water, you're also saving energy. We'll come to that a little later. And Kunal, next please. Food waste is another big problem. We generate about 150,000 tons of waste per day, and globally 30% of the emission comes from food waste, and the food waste on a global scale consumes 43 trillion liters of water, which can cater to 24% of the farmers' water needs. What a waste. What a waste. I am so happy that China is going for a clean plate program. I think this is one activity that we need to emulate too, also on a scale. Next, please. And look at the opportunities on account of food waste. Most hotels are generating about 400 to 600 kgs of food waste per day, and that can be easily converted into gas and used for in the kitchen or the cafeteria, and you reduce your cost. This is the beginning to circular economy and towards an objective of having a no landfill site in the country, maybe in the next 5-6 years. There are innumerable such opportunities. We need to internalize this and make India Atmanirbhar by not creating waste. Next, please. The solar concentrated technology has now entered India, and somebody in Delhi has manufactured this. So with solar technologies now, the sludge can be dried up and can be pelletized and used for something else. And the RO water reject can be evaporated, and the condensate recovery can also be added to this plant and enhance the water efficiency of the hotel. Next, please. Kunal, next, please. In India, 60% of our population is malnourished. And because of malnourishment, the productivity of the people is low. And this problem cannot be solved by the government. And therefore, on an experimental basis, in 2016, I started Bank of Nutrition when I took a training session for the hearing and speech impaired people in Koppal. And when I saw the condition of poverty and malnutrition there, I suggested to the NGO who had invited me to start Bank of Nutrition, which will have the following plants in the next slide, please. So this NGO has created a bank of the following plants, and you all know the value of this. I need not labor on this. If these plants are planted behind every home in rural India, so the people who normally eat rice with chili, or in the north they eat roti with chili, when you are in poverty, they'll also have access to these kind of fruits. And when you're helping them to raise the nutritional profile of the people, and moreover, the children who are born will be born without any disabilities. Unfortunately, in this country, we have disability because of a nutritional reason, and then we set up NGOs to handle that. I think we need more of proactive strategies as opposed to reactive strategies. Next, please. So finally, I'd like to end my presentation by quoting, "Building resilience is imperative for all business enterprises." And I have highlighted collaboratively. The time for competition is gone. We are in a leaking ship. And if Vinayak and me are enemies, we need to work together and ensure that the leaking ship is repaired. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So now we are going to have a very exciting session with very interesting set of people from different chain. And I'll start with the ladies first. And before I come to the specific questions, I'd like to read out the survey of TripAdvisor. The survey was very long, but I have culled out the key points for the benefit of this audience. And the survey said that 64% respondents said that they rarely feel informed about whether hotels are truly eco-friendly. 93% hotels don't take it upon themselves to confirm hotels' green practices. If this be so with regards to sustainability in the past, I am sure from COVID perspective, hotels will definitely do a better job in gaining the guest confidence so that people come back in flocks and refill the empty coffers of the hotels. So having said this, I will start the round one with Serena Kocher of Lemon Tree. Serena, I have a question for you. That tell us about the unique SOPs that Lemon Tree hotels have thought of to gain customer confidence.
Thank you, Mr. Khatri. See, in this pandemic era, in this pandemic situation, few SOPs were created in March 2020, which were not as per the regular SOPs. We never thought of this in our previous years. So we came to the special affiliation with journal bodies like Diversity, CIPLA, Bureau Veritas for hygiene programs, and like ITC has got, for Lemon Tree has got Rest Assured to ensure the customer for best hygiene and cleaning.
Shreya, can you go back a little bit? Your voice is cracking. Please, step back a little bit, please. Thank you.
Can you,
now, much better. Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Somebody has switched on a parallel audio system, a Facebook or something. You need to shut that now because that feedback is coming into the mic. So, बाकी सब लोग अपने आप को नॉन स्पीकर म्यूट कर लो. एंड सरीना, अगर आपका फेसबुक ऑन है बंद कर लो. किसी ने एक और चलाया हुआ स्क्रीन. एंड मीनू जी, आप अपना ये जो कैमरा यूं है ना, कैमरे को ऐसे कर लो, मोबाइल को ऐसे.
कैसे करते?
हाँ, आड़ा कर लो, ऐसे करके रखो, ऐसे नहीं रखो, ऐसे रखो. घुमा लो फोन को घुमाओ, फोन को घुमा लो. हाँ, अरे चलो रहने दो, ठीक है सब कुछ. चलिए.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Everybody else mute, please. Please go ahead.
So I was talking about this pandemic, special affiliation with journal bodies like Diversity, CIPLA, Bureau Veritas for hygiene programs like Be Assured and Rest Assured were developed. And for customers who wanted to stay with our hotels, like with asymptomatic patients and regular customers, so we are providing them hygienically clean rooms, and special processes were defined for cleaning, sanitation and disinfection using Virex, Oxyvir and sodium hypochlorite solutions. And segregation of bio waste was happening with the special agencies and bodies who are identified for the same. Employee safety was also one of the major point, where we procure PPE kits and masks and sanitization was happening accurately. Social distancing was the one of the norm, and it was happening in the lockers and in the cafeteria, and the training was implemented. And like Mr. Khatri very rightly said, like we have to be customer focused, and we have to give them the best services with regards to this pandemic. So daily services was not happening nowadays. It's on the customer request, and occupancy check is also not happening currently. It is happening on phone calls. And Linen is not changing. We are not changing the Linen daily. It is again on customer request. This is very different what we are doing in this pandemic. And another suggestion, like in southern region, we are not giving duvets. We are just giving dohers for the making the beds. And minimalistic design trends are happening nowadays, and so the customers, for employees also, they can feel like they can clean it within 20 minutes or 25 minutes. So no laminates being used, and turn down services also not happening right now. And we are having like dispenser in the washrooms, and we are designing the hotels where Mr. Khatri rightly said we are not having bathtubs, we are having showers for the guest usage. And lighting is also very important. Like we are having no code lighting is being used, just simple lighting is used, CFLs. And we are not using wall-to-wall carpets, we are using rugs, throwaway rugs. And airflows in ventilation is also happening correctly with the proper temperature. like I said, we are not using duvet, so we can maintain the room temperature at 23 degrees centigrade. And no bed runners and no cushions been happening for the future hotels. And Lemon Tree has got a special feature called brick beds, again environment friendly practice, where we are not cleaning the underbeds. There's no cleaning of underbed happening, and so that's why the boys are saving some time in making rooms. And furniture is also very you could say it's very straight line furniture. There's no crevices and so on to clean within. So that's what it is happening currently in the designing part. And that's from my side. And ergonomics are also being taken care of the guest needs. Thank you.
Now I'll veer towards Meenu Tognata. Meenu, in the current challenging times, you might have adopted some resource-intensive practices. And how has it impacted your costs, and by roughly what percentage? And how are you going to offset this in some other areas so that you kind of balance your cost? Can you share some experience of ITC hotels, please?
Mr. Khatri, thank you very much for addressing this. Am I audible? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Loud and clear.
So, Mr. Khatri, your question is in regard to the cost. And can you just repeat? Can you just repeat the question once again?
Okay. See, in COVID times, you must have adopted a lot of new practices, which has helped, which must have increased the cost of operation.
Yes.
In many areas in housing. So, by roughly what stage has your cost gone up, and what steps are you taking to offset this in some other areas so that you balance your bottom line?
Okay, so first of all, I'll tell you that, first of all, namaste to everybody. I would like to inform you that the costs have really gone up in terms of investments that have been done in capex equipments, chemicals, PPE, and at the same time in training the manpower through the online subjectives on the certain aspects of how to use those equipments, how to utilize those chemicals, and how to wear PPE and be in the areas. So there is an investment which has gone in crores of rupees, and in terms of making sure that whosoever customer comes to us is safe and finds the areas hygienic. Now, how to balance this cost of investment which suddenly came due to COVID in lakhs of rupees is now being taken care by balancing it with certain measures that have been taken in zoning the rooms where we are opening our hotels. We're not opening the hotels ad hoc and completely and in all areas, and we are going phase-wise. So even in the rooms where we are opening phase-wise, and we are trying to minimize the cost by ensuring that the room temperatures are maintained well, and even the temperature in other areas, as Rina had said, that is being maintained to between 24 to 27 degrees. Wherever the customer requires a highly cool area or needs some chilling, there's some special tweaking can be done. Otherwise, overall, all the zone areas, temperature is maintained to minimum, keeping the curtains closed, not allowing the heat from outside to penetrate in. And at the same time, even in the water savings, the kind of methods have been adapted with the steam cleaning instead of throwing water everywhere. And anyway, these measures have been taken even under the regular practices while the hotels are being serviced prior to COVID as well, but during the COVID also. And now the new methods of cleaning which are introduced, some new detergents and chemicals which have come, which requires low water consumption, are being introduced. Even we have done a lot of savings even in our laundry for that matter, making the operation into all 7 days, 24 hours, 365 days. We have reduced it down to many days, 2-3 days in a week, and using the calendars and using the machinery with the optimum utilization instead of just using it for napkins and all. So instead of, then at that time when somebody is working on calendar, the entire staff is pushed and all mise en place material is made ready in advance and then run through the calendar. So not allowing any kind of wastages to happen. At the same time, using the biogas for the cafeteria food where it is utilized. Our garbage segregation programs and ensuring that they are removed timely and taken out, and no extra storage is being done where over chilling of the areas is required to keep the the smells controlled, etc. So there are a number of measures which have been taken to balance these kind of things. Even the staff is trained to utilize those and adapt the new practices and work very effectively. So does this answer my question, Mr. Khatri, or would you like to ask me something?
The most important soundbite that I picked up from your elaborate explanation was that you have enhanced the temperature in the empty rooms to 25 to 27 degrees.
Yes.
I think that is a fantastic step, and I hope this kind of standard will be followed once COVID goes away, because give option to the guest to bring it down to the level he or she wants it. 25 degrees is a good standard, and if we don't do it, by 2025, the government of India is coming out with a rule that all empty rooms must have 25 degrees centigrade. And the fact that I'm not in coat and tie, which I stopped wearing right from 2000, is we have to become climate friendly. And the moment we shed our coat and tie, we can go take the temperature in the banquet hall to 27, 28 degrees. Difficult to bite, but COVID times will give you enough time to introspect on these difficult thought processes. Thank you, Mino. And now I'll come to the youngest lady in this group, Harinder Kumar. How are you, Harinder?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Harinder Kishore.
Harinder Kishore. I've been to AeroCity many times, and I was horrified to see the number of tankers over there. Considering that you are completely tanker dependent in AeroCity, like many other hotels across the country, this kind of raises a red flag in my mind all the time, that how long will these hotels run on tankers? But I often ask hoteliers in my interface with them wherever, that where do you get your water from? And they'll say tanker. And I said, and where the tanker coming from? They don't have the answer. What depth? They don't have the answer. So these are frightening statements which come from my friends and colleagues across the industry. And therefore, I'd like to know, what steps are you taking to reduce your water consumption in housekeeping operation? And you must have read the Niti Aayog report also, that 21 cities are going to be dry and maybe 21 or 22. Why wait for that? So what steps are you taking on, radical steps that you're taking on water management?
Thank you for the question, sir. And I would like to thank Mr. Khanna for inviting me with such a nice panel around. And the question, as you raised, the water being taken by the tanker, yes, entire AeroCity was dependent upon tanker water, but fortunately in last couple of months we have started taking water. GMR has started providing water to us, and the tanker water, yes, we used to get water, but treating and keeping the pH value and all used to be a humongous task especially for the team. Our engineering team used to do all that. But right now we have a water supply from GMR. But in the hotel, we have certain steps in place. First, as our hotel building is not very old, we have just started in 2016 December. But when we built the hotel, the infrastructure helped us in saving water. I'll start with very basic thing like, you know, our lobby and our public spaces. The stone finish what we have kept. It is a stone where we try to keep it natural instead of using chemical and machine. Like, you know, our old hotel, we do have, you know, marble and Italian stone where the polishing and maintenance is required throughout to maintain the shine, because we have designed the hotel like that. But in our hotel design, hotel design was based on minimalistic, and lot of sunlight across the hotel, and leave it natural as it is. So when we talk about stone, when we talk about wood, when we talk about wall finish, we have kept, like, you know, all the stone, all the wood, everything is kept very natural. So our consumption of polishing material is zero. The water consumption is absolutely zero. It's just the normal cleaning of the floor as we do at home. So we have such kind of infrastructure created, and it looks nice and well fitted with our decor. The second part is, as ma'am has already spoken about, laundry. Yes, laundry is another department where the water consumption is high. So we do have a measure in place, especially after COVID. We did time and motion study, and we have only number of hour laundry will be operated. So it's just the every day we will operate only 5 hours. There's times are fixed based on load and stuff, and then the operation is restricted to that hour, and maximum utilization of the machine is being done. And our cleaning partners helped us with the introduction of advanced chemical, where the rinsing and the drain takes less time, and the usage of water. So there we have put in certain measure in place in laundry which saves our water. And then in back end in our infrastructure, STP plant, where we have ultra filtration system in place, and then we have UV filtration in place, and this entire filtered water goes into our chiller plant, goes into our flush system and garden. And when we talk about flush system, it's like a cycle. You know, the flush water goes to the STP, it's been treated and goes back to the flush. So it's like the same water which is in cycle. So you save water there a lot. You know, the consumption of water goes down. And then rainwater, it's not the rainwater harvesting I'm talking about storing the rainwater from the entire building and wherever we have drain system in place. So that storage of water also helps us in saving water in different areas. So there are certain steps which has been taken. And I'll go back to the infrastructure. You talked about bathtub, and in your presentation you showed the bathtub and a lady in Rajasthan walking 4 kilometers for water. So yes, we have certain category of rooms where we have a bathtub. Otherwise, most of the room does not have the bathtub. So if customer guest need a bathtub, he will get a bathtub. And if in case guest is conscious about it, he can use the shower. So these are the steps, and it really helped us in saving water. And then we have a smart meter, water meter in place across the hotel, wherever the water consumption is there. When I'm talking about smart meter, it is in wash up area of kitchens, in laundry, and wherever the water consumption is there. It helps the team to control and look at the water system, how the water is. So this is the little snapshot of water saving at our hotel.